playing games. Never should have blocked me.
What's the name of your employer? What is it that you do, sir?
Hello and welcome to Geek Legion of Doom. I'm Lisa from the Lisa Loves channel, and I'm here today to talk about a movie called Only Feet. So you may have got the comparison. Only Feet sounds a bit like OnlyFans, doesn't it? You would have the comparison right. There are people in this world that have a thing for feet. More power to them, but I don't get it. Quentin Tarantino does quite clearly, but I don't. So let's get a couple of names out of the way before we start talking about plot of the movie. So this is written and directed by someone listed as WW, which is Walter Will Wright. And it stars mainly two people, a couple. They are Chance Johnson and Robin Covington. God knows I can never remember names. And also we have Ryan Tier in this a little bit later on. But we mainly follow a couple from the start of this movie. So what is the plot? So we follow Jace and Robin, a happy couple. They're happy together. I should say the film is entirely shot in black and white. It's shot mostly using an iPhone. It took 3 years to make and it is pretty low budget. So that's kind of a warning for people that's expecting something like Basic Instinct here. It is very low budget. We'll talk about that a bit later on. So we follow this couple, normal problems, money problems being one of the most main transparent at the start of the movie. Jace very much seems to want to be the protector, to financially provide for him and his girlfriend. But she has to go out and get a job at the beginning of this. The deprivation. The woman has to go and get a job. Oh my God. So she goes out and she gets a job to help them pay the bills. They're struggling with rent. They don't know where the next paycheck's coming from. Jace has issues providing. It doesn't really go into massive detail about what's happened, where he's come from, why they're struggling so much, any of that sort of stuff. But anyway, we know they've got financial issues. We know that Robin has the job to try and help them out. But something happens that starts to bring in a little bit more money. So let's go back to that title, Only Feet. So you may sort of realise it sounds like OnlyFans. And yes, there is a world out there where people are willing to pay for photographs of someone's feet. Now, you would expect in this case that it would be the petite, beautiful woman feet, Robin's feet in this situation, but no. It's the male clodhoppers. It's the big, gnarly men feet that are being paid money to be shown in a variety of interesting situations, shall we say. Don't get me wrong, nothing, pervy, just feet in different situations. It takes all sorts. Big gnarly men feet are never going to do anything for me, but maybe they are for someone. Clearly they are, because it takes all sorts, doesn't it? So Jace starts to get requests from a beautiful young lady for pictures of his feet. Now you would think that would be the first clue. This beautiful young woman wants pictures of your gnarly big men feet in different situations, but no. He's buying this. He's happy to... Actually, he's not. He's very furtive and he's acting like he's doing something really wrong and really naughty when all he's doing is taking pictures of his feet. He's being very secretive about it. Now, I would have thought if you're in a relationship, you would say, this mug here's going to pay me whatever for pictures of my feet. Give me ideas to take pictures, and your partner would be in on it. Why wouldn't they be? But shh, don't mention the feet thing. So the movie progresses with Jace becoming increasingly more embarrassed about these feet pictures, more requests for feet pictures coming in, ridiculous amounts of money being paid for these feet pictures. You would think at some stage he would have thought, there's something not right here, but no, he doesn't. Within this movie, it is described as an erotic thriller. Within this movie, we have a number of sex scenes. The movie is in black and white, I'm not sure if I already said. And I wouldn't say they're particularly explicit. I wouldn't say they're anything more than what you would have seen before on other movies with no erotic as the title. There is a bit of nudity, but there's not even full frontal female nudity or anything. We see boobs, we see a little bit of bum, that's it. It's pretty sedate. The sex scenes I didn't find particularly erotic or you know, I didn't think, oh, that's interesting. They were very, there's a reason that we want to see beautiful Hollywood people lit in a certain way. We don't want to see realistic sex, folks. Maybe some people do. I am not the biggest fan of watching sex, but if we have to watch sex, have it be something that's visually appealing to watch. Now, that's not me saying the actors were visually unappealing or unattractive. That's not the case whatsoever. But it is shot very much in a very realistic, no frills kind of way. And the lighting's not the best. I'm struggling to think of something. I'm trying to censor my words. It's just not shot in a very alluring, appealing, seductive, arousing manner. That's how we'll put it. It did sort of make it nothing to do with the actors at all. They did a really good job. The acting's absolutely fine from the two leads. Especially, I would say, Robin Covington, her performance, I would say, is the stronger one in this movie. Even though I would say, obviously, Jace, played by Chance Johnson, I had to check. He is more prevalent in the movie, but I would say I found her character much more believable, much more, you know, she just struck me as like someone I would know. She's very natural on screen. Her acting's very, you know, believable. I did buy the sort of like boyfriend-girlfriend thing. The only thing, like I say, I found odd was the inference that he would be taking these pictures in a furtive, secretive manner and he wouldn't tell her if they were an established couple because he's not doing anything wrong. I mean, you know, is it embarrassing? To be honest, no. If some mug's paying me pictures for my feet, I'm on OnlyFans selling pictures of my feet, let's just be honest. So I would take the erotic tag with a little bit of a pinch of salt. There's a few sex scenes in it, between a couple, nothing explicit. There's nothing going to make you raise an eyebrow, and there's certainly nothing that you haven't seen before somewhere else. So that's that part out of the way. So obviously, as you can probably imagine, this movie does not end with him selling pictures of his feet and then riding off into the sunset. There is something amiss. There is reasons he is being sent this money for pictures of his feet that will come to light. He's got himself into something that he really should not have got himself into. I'm not going to say any more than that. The movie, 3/4 of the movie is very much just following this couple, the feet pictures, them enjoying that the money they're having. He doesn't even tell her how he's getting it, even though, how are you getting this money? And she wants to know, he won't tell her. That wasn't believable to me. Then 3/4 of the way through, everything changes. And it's not something you can see coming at all because it's so out of left field that you're like, what? What now? What's happening? It's not something in a month of Sundays I could have ever predicted or dreamt up. It is a bit of a surprise. So there's that. Is it a good surprise? I'm not so sure. It made it slightly different. It made it slightly more interesting, I suppose. But it's very hard for me to discuss my feelings about the direction that they went without me telling you what direction they went. So I can't really do that. So let's talk about positives and negatives to the movie. So positives, let's start in the nice place. I felt the acting was fine. Like I say, I thought her acting was slightly better than his. He did appear a little bit stiff at times. The double entendres are... No, we don't see any of that. Don't worry. Don't get your panties in a twist. We don't see any of that. But they do come across like a very normal boyfriend-girlfriend, very normal relationship. As I said, this is black and white. Absolutely fine. Have no issue with that. It was shot mainly on iPhone over 3 years. So a lot of work's gone into this, and that's something very much you have to appreciate, the commitment that's been given to the project. The sound design on this movie is terrible. I can't pull any punches with that. I was really struggling. I had to actually put on subtitles for this movie because 1 minute I can't hear the dialogue and the next minute I'm being deafened by music. Something to add definitely that's important is there is a score pretty much all the way through this. There's very little amount of time where you're not hearing some description of score in the background, and I think there was a little bit too much. It is an original score, and in places I really liked the music that they were using. I thought it was really fitting to certain scenes. I felt there were too much of it in certain situations, and I felt that it was too loud in certain situations, and you were playing that ping pong of up, down with your volume. Like I say, the dialogue was, I feel like, I could be wrong, but it feels like when they say it was shot on iPhone, it was just shot on iPhone with no help from any extra like booms or anything for the sound. The sound was pretty poor, and immediately when I put the movie on, it was the first thing that that I felt I have to say in the review. The sound is definitely for me an issue. So let's summarize. For me, the sound was an issue, as I've just said. Lighting in specific scenes. What I maybe didn't mention is in a lot of parts it's very grainy. It looks very low budget, and not in a, you know, when you have found footage, you want that sort of like edgy, looks filmed on a camcorder kind of thing, but that wouldn't really be what you're looking for here in like a normal movie. Some scenes were very dark, very difficult to see. It was very obvious. A lot of it was very amateurish. So visually, there were a lot of issues with it, and audibly also. I don't think the erotic thriller tag, I think it's pushing the erotic thing a little bit too far. I don't feel it was particularly over erotic compared to sex scenes in any other movie you would see. It was quite tame, it was quite sedate. I feel the ending, although out of left field and very surprising, just felt a little bit odd. I found myself like watching it and I'm like reacting in a way like, you what now? And it just didn't tie together very well for me. It's like, it didn't fit for me. It wasn't believable for me. It was more believable than him getting all the money for these pictures, but it wasn't a satisfying conclusion for me. It wasn't something that I was shocked by. It was something I was surprised. I was looking at it, I'm like, huh? Because it was so not what I was expecting. The story, the couple story was fine. They were believable, but was it interesting? Not really. I found his embarrassment about the pictures the most entertaining thing in it, because I would be laughing if that were me getting money for doing something as simple as that. So I found his discomfort amusing. But other than that, guys, I struggle to come in with much positive here, other than I do feel the acting was decent enough. I would be interested to see the director's more modern pieces, as he did start this over 3 years ago. So if I had to score this one out of 10, I would be coming in at a 2 or a 3, folks. We'll say 3 out of 10 will be kind. So I'm afraid Only Feet did fall a little bit flat for me. It is available to watch at the moment on the Relay channel. You need to subscribe to that channel, but once you're subscribed, it is free to watch if you want to check it out. Let me know below if you've seen it, or if you would like to see it, what you think of the overall premise. And I suppose you'd be outing yourself if you have a foot fetish. So let's know what you think, guys, and we look forward to speaking to you next time.